Okay, so I think that we are back. Guys, I'm very sorry for this. Apparently, YouTube is messing up with me a little bit today. Welcome again for the second session of Quality Talks interviews. I'm very happy to have you here. We have a small delay between the live chat and the presentation, but I hope that it will go smoother after this. So our session today is with Ricardo Lopes from Feedzai. And I'm very happy to have Ricardo here. He has been also a great influence for me throughout my career and a great inspiration. So I'm very happy to have Ricardo to answer some questions from my side, and I hope that from yours as well. As I've said in a previous session, we have the Quality Talks relaunch. We are now launching these online sessions. I hope that you enjoy it. If you do, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and share with people that you believe this might be also helpful. And don't forget that we are still trying to provide more formats, and now we are also going live with the podcasts, because I know that there are a lot of people that love listening to podcasts. So we are also launching that. Don't forget also to visit our website, QualityTalks.pt. We now added more speakers that we had previously there, and I hope that we will keep evolving. And yeah, we actually, the slide says that we are more than 300, but now we are more than 360 quality talkers, which is awesome. I'm very, very happy that I have so many people together with me, discussing quality, learning about quality, and sharing things about quality assurance. We have a group on Meetup. We have a page on LinkedIn. We now also have an Instagram that I might share the link afterwards. And yeah, I think that we should just now let our special guest to introduce himself for those that I would like to learn a little bit more about him. So, Ricardo, welcome.
Hi, Lena. Welcome. Are you listening to me well? Everything
Yes, yes.
Okay. First of all, thank you for the kind words. And I think that I want to give it back to you because your work with this Lisbon community has been amazing. So it's also a real pleasure from my side to be a part of it. And it's also very pleasant for me to be able to join to those to the talks that you organize and also these new initiatives. So I'm really happy to be a part of this. So thank you first of all for the invitation. And yes, what kind of things I could say about me in order to introduce myself? My name is Ricardo Lopes. I work most of the time in Coimbra, where I studied also. I started working since all my career. I always worked on quality related subjects. So I started at critical software. I stay around like 2 years there, and then I changed to Feedzai, and it's where I am, the company where I am for more than 5 years, and I hope that it's still counting. And yeah, and my work was always on the quality area. I think that I already did a lot of funny stuff during those times. I already worked with as consultant at Critical, most at Critical. Then at Feedzai, I am most working on the product side. So, and yeah, during that time, I already did a lot of different stuff, and it's good because I think that in this area we are fortunate because we are always able to learn new things and discover new things along our path. So yeah,
I know that you have been doing amazing things, but let's leave that for a little bit later because I have some questions related to that. But first of all, I would like to understand. So you've studied computer science engineering, as far as I know. Yes. So why did you decide to pursue a quality career? Quality career sounds nice.
No, first of all, I decided I think it's a funny story because since a little child, I always knew that I want to do like computer science because my father's had like a cloud store, and there were like the engineers, the technicians that come to the store to do the updates on the software that they use to manage the inventory and etc. And I remember since my childhood that when those engineers or technicians come, I was always looking into them, like in order to, because they type so fast and the things move so quickly on the screen that I was just there looking to them, seeing what the things that they do. And that was one of the things that that for me, since my childhood, leave like a mark, you understand?
Okay.
And then I also always worked since like 10 years. I started using computers and etc. So it was something that I really use from a long time. Like it's normal for our generation to do this kind of stuff. But yeah, it was something that I really liked from the beginning, and then I decided to do the computer science course. The why go to quality? I think that there are different things that might compose my answer. First thing was that since for example at the university I was not like a top student with 17 grades and etc. But for example, when there were like practical work or some imagine that you have to write like some program or something like that. I always try to do my best in order to deliver the things like if they were like perfect. And I remember that in most of those kind of jobs of works, of university works, I was able to get like good marks. And I think that the most important thing for me to achieve that was not that I only write the code and etc. with my colleagues, but I always invest a lot of time in order to guarantee, for example, that we test the things correctly, that the professor will not try to play with our program and it will simply blow up just by inserting some strange characters or something like that. I remember that I was very pushy on the documentation, on providing like a good report, explaining the things that we did and etc. So that was one of the parts that I really like, not only writing the code and etc., but also guaranteeing that the things were really, really, really good. And the second part was that when I finished my third year, so I only did the bachelor degree, licenciatura in Portugal, and when I finished it, I was quite sure that I would not like to spend like 3 or 4 weeks only writing code, because I also like the business part. So it was like I was trying to understand what was like the best thing for me to do, since I have those different things. And after looking into the market, a quality position was like the best thing that I could find, because I could follow like the automation path where I could build and design some code, and I also have like the business part where I need to understand things and etc. So it kind of like builds the bridge that then made me choose like since the beginning, because it was like my first. I already knew when I finished the course that I want to follow like a quality engineer career. So that I think that it was the two main reasons for me.
That's impressive. That's impressive. And knowing your work so far, I think that you're definitely on your spot. It was spot on, the great decision. Another thing that I know about you is that you have presented a lot of different talks, gladly with QualityTalks as well, but not only. So I would like to share a piece of advice from you to our viewers. Imagine a person that would like to start. It's not a career, but his experience as a speaker.
Okay.
So, what would you recommend?
Okay. So I think that's at least let me try to resume at least what was my thoughts when I started like giving a presentations, etc. But I think the first thing is like if you want to start to do presentations and etc. One of the things that is really nice is for us to start with our like internally in the company with our colleagues.
Yeah.
Like it might be like small talks presenting the things that we did, like a presentation for the whole company. But that might be like a good start because you will talk with persons that you already know, and that will make you feel a little bit more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was also one of the things that I did, and this is also something that imagine you might not want to give a talk for outside or etc. But it's very normal for the persons to have to present something on their own
Internally.
company.
Yeah.
So it's something that I think that is a good way for us to start. Then what can I say? So attend to other meetups, like even if they are present or online or etc. So start
Yeah.
attending to the meetups because it also help you to know the persons and like start to being more comfortable with those kind of environments,
Yeah.
because it will not be something that is like completely new to you, because at least you were there like for like in not attending to the meetup, so it
Mm-hmm.
will make you feel more comfortable. And then I think that it's basically you to decide what you want to talk and what you want to show to the other persons, and basically build a good story about around that, like with the not just talking. I really like to go to attend to presentations where the persons explain, like for example the why, the who, what were the conclusions that they take, and then finally to what are the next steps. And this is like a good recipe if you put that in your mind, like okay, I have this problem, and for this problem I solve it in this way. So
Yeah.
I simply will build like a story around that and tell that to the persons. I think that is very helpful because it engages the persons with your presentation, and for you is also very good because you understand what you need to do in order to reach to your goal. Uh, and yeah, and one thing that I think also that is important is there is an interesting book from the how is it call it? How is it? Oh, let me think. I do not remember the name by now, but it's about presentations. But they basically say
Mm-hmm.
most of the times, probably you are the person in the room that knows more about the thing that you are talking. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid in exposing your ideas. And if you are not, probably if there are someone that is real like an expert, the expert will not come to the presentation with the idea of try to judge you or etc. The person come to the presentation with the goal to also learn a little bit more, even if it's like
Exactly.
a different
Perspective
view or
or
perspective.
yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think that this is important for us to put in mind and not be afraid to share our ideas, because most of the persons that are listening to us, probably
Mm-hmm.
they are saying, okay, I really like to be there, but I am afraid or etc. So if you are thinking about that, that's a good thing, and just don't be afraid of presenting things to the others and etc. Because if the persons want to spend some of their time with you, it's because they really want to learn things and they are not there to judge you.
Exactly. I think it's an excellent advice.
You are also expert on presentations and organizing
I'm not.
events and etc. So probably you could also give some advice.
I'm mostly an organizer than speaker, but I have to admit that I had a huge will in order to start, presenting something. But I constantly was feeling that I just, know so little that I have nothing to share. But then imagine in the coffee breaks and things, when people would ask me something, I could talk for hours. So I thought maybe I could try. So, but it was really difficult for me just to make that first step, And I do remember that my first talk was at Farfetch, and I was thinking like, I will tell that I'm sick or something, that I will run away. But I'm very glad that I did it, because even if I present something that for me, is something really basic and I think nobody would want it, at the end I receive a very good feedback. So at least to somebody that helped, because they had a similar situation or a similar problem or something like that. So yeah, since I spent some time on trying out tooling or reading things or like just thinking about the problem, so why not? But I have to admit that my question was not that innocent, because from my experience of quality talks, of more than 2 years of quality talks, I think that at Feedzai, it was the place where like everybody wanted to talk. Everybody like could have a presentation, That's not that common. So I do believe that you have this culture of sharing in-house, and people feel more comfortable to share, because I know a lot of people that know great stuff, and I would love to hear them, how they solved some problems in their companies, but they don't feel that comfortable just stepping in presenting. So yeah, I thought I knew that there might be a special thing about your company or about your experience or your team. I'm not sure which is the case, that just I don't know, helps people to.
I think that's it's something that we have internally at Feedzai, that the persons are really open in order to share the things that they do and etc. And there's like a culture of also I think that there are two good things. That is like a culture of learning that enable you to learn, and if you want to go and take like a formation or etc., it's on your own. You decide what you think that it's best to you. And I think that is really good. And also that culture of also share what you learn with your colleagues and etc. I think it's something that is nice.
That is great.
But the most important thing is that for the persons to do not be afraid of sharing or etc. Because as you said, even if it's something that is really simple, I might attempt to imagine. I might do one thing that it's like really complex, and then I might go to a talk about the same subject that is really simple, and I just say, okay, why didn't teach just that? You understand why?
Yeah.
So there are things that we are always able to learn by sharing things with others. If we don't share, for sure we will not learn ourselves, and also be able to understand what you could improve, and etc.
Yeah, that's true. So guys, we Quality Talks, we still have the meetup format, so now it's on hold, but we will start again in January with a DevSecOps talk, and we have already speakers. But please contact us in case you would like to share something. I'm pretty sure that you have amazing stuff to share. So just let us know. I don't know, write us on LinkedIn, on a meetup, on Instagram, wherever you want. And join us as a speaker. That would be awesome. Now, Ricardo, I have another confession to do. So I had already listened to one of your talks, and that was an amazing talk for me. I love that one, because this is a topic that it's really interesting. in terms of quality, but it's not that well known yet, at least in Portugal. So I would like you to tell us a little bit more about a thing called mutation testing, because I know that you do that.
No, but it's not. It was not my talk. It was from.
Yeah.
It was not my.
It was Pedro Rijo who presented.
Pedro Rijo,
yeah.
I was there, but yeah.
But I know that you do mutation testing, so I want to learn more about it.
We did and do use mutation testing in some of the projects. Basically, what mutation testing does is like imagine you have your tests, and like there is also that paradigm of, for example, tests that don't have asserts and etc. But it's not the same thing. But yeah, when you have tests that don't have asserts, you are not validating anything. But you might also have asserts on your tests, but you might do just add asserts and etc. and write tests for having like code coverage or in this case line coverage, etc. to increase your code coverage. And what mutation testing tries to do, it's basically, it plays with for example, I will talk about Java because the tool we use Java, and also the tool that we use, that is Pit, is for Java. But what it does basically is that it plays with the bytecode with the Java bytecode, with the real code, and it plays with that, change it, and then it tries to run your tests against that modified code. If your tests pass, like it's like they create the mutations, and if that are called like the mutants, and if those mutants survive, so if your test passed, even with things that change on your bytecode, on your real code, something is wrong, because imagine that it changed like an operator, or like an equals operator, and it changed it to like not equal, something like that, and then your assert simply continues to pass. Something should be wrong with your code, and basically it enables you to test your tests. So it's like, I think that it's a nice approach. I think that there are also some remarks, at least on the tool that we use. Some things that are good is like, for example, with Pit, it's really easy to adapt that in your project. You might need to do some tuning, but it's easy to adapt. It's like some plugin that you might only put on your project, and it just runs. But on other ends, on projects that start to be a little bit bigger with a lot of modules and etc., it also takes some time to run, because it needs to modify all the Java bytecode and etc. So it's like a drawback, because if you have like a big project, it might take a long time to run. Also, if you have like projects, we also have some issues with projects that have some dependencies on the modules and etc. So this is also used. It's also used mostly on small projects that are not so big. But yeah, also for this we have some solutions. You could, like, for example, you could only have like a separated build to run this, and you don't have this on your pipeline, and you or you only have this on some modules that are very important for you, like there are core modules from your product that you really want to battle test. It's some options that we might follow, but yeah, those are the main things that I remember when we adapt the mutation testing in some of the projects. But yeah,
so what did you use again? It was Java with?
Yeah, it's the tool. It's called Pit.
Okay.
If you search for Pit Java, let me just click here. Pit mutation testing, exactly.
Okay.
And there is also flavors for different languages. Also from Pit, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, there are different flavors for. No, Pit it's explicitly for Java, but then are different flavors that are like adaptations of Pit. I might share the link with you of the tool.
Okay.
But yeah,
thank you.
Even if you use another language, for sure there might be another library that do like some some similar with for the language that you use.
Okay. And did you see any benefits when you was trying this out?
We found tests that had issues, like that really were not doing anything, or that the asserts were not correct, and we were able to find it because of this. So that's really something that I think that it's nice for us to use. I think that it's a tool it's like a complement. Probably it's not something that I would put in like a production pipeline where you need to release fast or etc.
Yeah.
But it's like for sure it's a nice tool for you to run like every night or every week to ensure that the tests that you are adding along the way are really adding value and are not just adding tests by the sake of increasing code coverage.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, nice. I hope that one day we will have another talk about the topic, so get ready. Okay, another interesting question, and that is also because I know more or less what Feedzai does, and I bet that it is really important to assert quality on production. And actually, this was a question that I've received on Meetup from a person that has signed up for the meeting. So the question was more or less, how do you assert quality in production? And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me think a little bit about it, because Feedzai is like a B2B company. Like it's a business to business company. It's not like a business to customer company where for example we have like a single deployment and you have a set of users that use our platform, like for example is Facebook or Farfetch, Twitter, etc., Netflix, etc. We are like a company that provides a platform. For an example is a bank that use our system in order to prevent fraud on their end. And they basically are using our product in order to protect their customers.
Yeah.
The layers where I work at Feedzai, that is basically on the product team. Normally, we did not do like deployments for our end customers, because we have other teams that normally are the customer success teams that pick the product as a whole and do some customization and then provide the end solution to our customer. So normally, and also due to the business of our business, if we could say so, it's not something that, for example, our clients like banks and etc. would accept easily for us to do like testing production in their real productions. But we use like QA environments that mimic the production environments and etc. But basically, so resuming, we do not do a lot of tests in production. We try to have like as many tests as possible before we say, okay, we could do the deploy, we could go to production. And that's so basically what we try to do is provide to our developers the tools that they need in order to test the product heavily on their local machines, on CI systems, etc. We also try to battle test the product against QA environments. For example, it's one of the nice things that we are working currently. The QA team, the different QAs are working as a whole. That is like, for example, being able to run like the set of tests that we run against local environments, to run those tests against cloud environments where that mimic our production systems. And this might seem, okay, it's really simple, but if we think that a cloud environment is something that have a lot of security constraints and etc. It's not so simple, and we are working also on that. So ensure that we could run the same set of tests that we have locally and run the same tests against those type of environments. So basically it's that, and then what we have is like and that is something that the Cloud Ops team provide. It's like a lot of metrics and etc. Regarding the environments, the problems that are occurring in production. There are some teams that are also adopting like telemetry services that collect logs in real time and etc. That it's something that we try to do. It's not like testing in production, but is at least being able to measure what is happening in real time in production. And yeah, one thing that we try to do that is like reactive is get the set of bugs that the clients are opening, analyzing those bugs, try to understand what is the major root cause of issues. So the different areas that we have in the product that have more issues, and try to understand in those major areas what we can improve on them. It's like it's not testing production, but it's like reacting to things that happen in production. It's like ways for us, since we are not able to do those kind of things in production environments. How could we at least try to have a way to be able to improve
quality? Okay, but if you would work like for a different company or a different business, do you think it's feasible to having a way on asserting quality on production?
Because
we have like the static analysis, we have the different environments, but still there's a difference when you are actually live, right?
Yeah. I think that even in our business that should be possible. The question is like dealing with this type of things when we talk about money, banks, etc.
Yeah.
It's not something that it's difficult to explain to the customers. But it's for sure if there are other companies where I think that company completely makes sense to do this, and even on our business it might make sense, but then we are not there yet in a way that we could like simply achieve that easily. You understand? But
so you have the extensive part before production, and then a great reactive part on production.
It's like the way for us to mitigate that.
Okay. Great, thank you. And guys, if you want to ask a question to Ricardo, please post your question on the chat. And closely to the end of our interview, I will check if we will have any questions, I will ask them to Ricardo. So feel free. You can write whenever you want. That's fine, but I will ask you at the end. I will ask them at the end. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Regarding the tooling, so was there any tool that surprised you, completely blown you away, and you loved throughout like all your experience?
It depends. What type of tools are you talking about?
I want to learn from you what were the most useful tools for you, and it can be, I don't know, a task manager, or it can be an automation tool, or it can be a CI/CD tool. So what was like the things that I couldn't live without this one?
Okay. So let me think. For two of them, probably two. It's not like something very shiny, but it's something that when I normally I do not do exploration testing nowadays very much, but when I do, there is a tool called Bug Magnets. I don't know if you know it.
I've heard about it. Yes.
Yeah, it's something that, imagine you are in a page and you have a form and you want to put like some naughty string on there, and you simply do like a right click, and you have like a set of different like naughty strings. Put like a word with 128 characters,
Nice.
256, etc. So it's something that it's really useful for us to have in hand when we are doing exploratory testing, because you have like a big set of things. I could put it here. Let me just
Yeah, please.
bug.
We will
It's
share,
like,
but I will also leave these links in the description of the video, so
okay.
people then also can find them. But since
It's,
we are
yeah.
here already, okay, that's
Then
great.
other thing that I really like, and it's not like a tool, but it's like when we are doing like exploratory testing, also use a proxy in order to explore the things that are happening between us and the browser, being able to simply change something that you are just sending to the server or etc.
Okay.
And normally when I use Windows, I use Fiddler, if I remember correctly. That is a really nice nice.
I loved it.
And then I am referring to Fiddler because it was like the user experience for me, it was really good, and I was not able to find since I started using like Unix based systems. I was not able to find a tool that was like so user friendly.
Totally right.
Yeah, but then on Unix normally I use OWASP Zap, that it's like it's like a security tool normally that is used to do like security testing, because it enables you to change and to change your requests and do a lot of things related with security. But you might use it also as a proxy, and it's one of them that I really like to have at hand when I am doing like exploratory testing. Let me think on CI. On CI at Feedzai, we recently started adopting, like two years ago, 1 year and a half. In software engineer, it's like a real short time.
Yeah.
Things happen really fast. So we think that
That's
it was
true.
like 3 months ago, but it was like, okay, 1 year and a half or 2 years. But we are using GitLab CI in order to manage the complete flow of building, deploying, etc. Libraries, our internal libraries, projects, etc. And it's really simple to use, and it really embraces the team in being able to understand the tool that they are using in order to manage the pipeline that you use to deploy, the different steps, and etc. And it's one of the things we also use Jenkins, and Jenkins for me it's real powerful, and
but
you are able
that is kind of common choice for most of the companies.
You are able to do everything that you want in Jenkins, but there is also that gap of knowledge that you need to have someone that is like an expert on Jenkins in order, even if you have like a pipeline as code that defines the steps that you need to run in order to build, test, deploy documentation, etc. Even if Jenkins is able to have all of that, you always need to go to Jenkins and be like some mini expert in order to do configurations. And GitLab is really simple on that, and it's the simplicity of the tool. Really, it's really shiny. But it also has some drawbacks comparing to Jenkins. One of those is like when you use Docker containers in order to run your tests, since all the GitLab CI uses like Docker itself to run the pipelines. If you need to bootstrap Docker containers, you need to use Docker in Docker. That it's not like a good thing to do. So, but it's like in a way for put the team together in using a tool to manage the complete life cycle for your releases and etc. It's really nice.
Okay, my experience with GitLab was kind of short, but I totally support you on the first two. Like that was really wow for me, and especially Fiddler because I had such low expectations. And when I started to understand the things that I could do, like, just manipulating all the calls and trying to get like the responses that I wanted, etc., etc., I was like, whoa, I like this. And then when I moved to a different OS, then I was kind of missing Fiddler because they only had support for Windows back then. Yeah. I think that now they are evolving, but back then they existed only for Windows.
Yeah, at least
and I tried to look for something similar, and I even tried Charles, but it was like, nothing was the same. I was like, I really miss Fiddler. Yeah.
I also tried, and they do like a port, but it was clearly not the same. It's very instable. And,
exactly.
But regarding a tool for you to act as a proxy and for you to being able to change things and etc. Like do manual testing, try to play with the API, etc. It was really nice, and that's the easy to of the tool was so easy to use that I was not able to find anything like that. But
totally agree with you.
But for me, OWASP app brings some of it's more difficult to use, but it enables you to do the same kind of thing. So it's something that I really like to use as a tool during the exploratory testing. But regarding the other tools, it was something that I'll like to refer. I could talk about our tech stack or etc. that you use for testing, but I think that it really depends because your team might have a necessity that the other teams might have different necessities. So
I was not asking like about the specific stack that you have implemented. I'm more like into things that just blown you away and you think that can be useful to different people. And I do agree that, for example, the bag magnet and Fiddler, then just save your life. Use them.
Respond well. Okay. Nice.
Okay, great. Thank you. And you mentioned so many things, different techniques, different tools. How do you keep up to date with everything that is released? Because the IT world is just huge, and we have new things coming up, new buzzwords, new techniques, new things, new tools. So how do you keep up with everything?
Okay, so I think that basically regarding testing or in overall?
Regarding testing, so what's new in the testing world?
Okay, so I also try to keep a little bit updated, but normally regarding new tools or technologies or etc. Even like in software engineering in general, I think at least in Feedzai we have like a community that shares a lot of those kind of things. So and we start adopting that in the projects, and also sometimes some of the tools we might really use them on our testing process and etc. But for testing specifically, I would say that my main sources of knowledge, or if you might say so, I think that I really use Medium a lot.
Okay.
With even by selecting, because you need to select the categories, and I have like software development, and it's too like that are generic, but with my focus on testing and etc. I have a lot of articles that are suggesting and that focus also on the whole team approach for testing and etc. So I think that is I think that I am able to find a lot of interesting material there, because the persons provide really concrete examples of what they are doing. The talks, so going to talks, understanding what other companies are doing, how they are doing, the problem that they have. sometimes you never heard about some technology and you get that type of insights. Even it like a technology that you never use, but you understand the purpose of it. So it's one of my main source of knowledge. And I lived in Coimbra. Now I am in my small town, if I call it. It's not in Coimbra, but when I was in Coimbra, I travel a lot to Porto and to Lisbon to attend to talks.
You did.
Because it really helped me to keep updated regarding what our companies are doing and etc. The podcasts, as you are referring, so the podcasts are very good source of knowledge also. From Ministry of Testing, there's the Test Guild, one or two that I could refer, but I don't remember by name. And Twitter also. I don't use. We were discussing this also before the meetup.
The live stream.
Before restarting, and I was saying that I don't use Twitter very much in order to write posts or etc. But I use it because I know that there are a lot of testing gurus, if you might call it so, international persons that are relevant in the testing industry. And I also use it in order to know that if there are some article that is interesting and etc. But I think that
is actually true. Like I was kind of influenced to create the Twitter account by João, our guest from the first session. But for example, the speaker for the QualityTalks DevSecOps meetups that I'm organizing for January, I found the speaker there, and it's an amazing professional. It's a she, professional from United States, and it's really cool, how supportive people there are. Like they really try to help and explain and share ideas and stuff. Sharing some ideas about karate, for example, that I'm trying to implement in my company. So Twitter is it's a cool family or a cool bunch of people that that you can count on, at least when it comes to QA. That's true. Okay,
so I think that are those four.
Okay, that's
LinkedIn also. LinkedIn, because there are persons that we follow or etc.
Yeah,
they share things. So
that's true.
Those 5 things.
But most of the things on LinkedIn, then they lead to Medium articles. They're just easier to find them sometimes because somebody shares. So yeah. Or, for example, the QualityTalks that people also share on LinkedIn, so it's easier to find.
No, but there are also some groups, there are also some specific groups on testing automation, etc. That it's also they're also nice if you have then you are able to filter what you think is interesting or not. But
Okay, and now I have a kind of difficult question to you, because I know that you do a lot of interviews, and I would be really curious for you to share with us. It might be a question like that you had to answer in an interview, or it can be a question that you might ask to somebody on an interview. But I want you to share an interview question, because I know that a lot of people look for new opportunities sooner or later. And I think it would be nice to know one of the top questions that you listen the most or answer the most.
Okay. Before going into the specific question that I think that I always ask, and I think that it's really important for the persons to be aware of. But before talking on that, what I really like to ask on interviews is when someone when we are just talking about some subject and the person is explaining, saying, for example, I'm using this tool, and when you come back to the person and say, okay, but could you explain me why you decide to use that tool? For example, a simple example. the person say, okay, I'm using Cucumber, and you ask back, okay, but why are you using Cucumber? And the person might say, okay, I'm using Cucumber because it's like such a nice technology that everyone in the community is talking about, so I'm using it. And that might give you like a sense from the candidate, or the candidate might answer to you, no, I am using Cucumber because as a whole, our team is using like BDD in order to write our user stories. So we found that this is the most easy way for us to communicate the same language, and etc.
Okay.
So
yeah,
you get the example. I think that the best questions that I like to do in interviews is when we talk about a given subject, and when we ask to the candidates, okay, but why did you decide to do that? And they are able to explain what they have in mind when they are using these tools, what are the benefits that they could take. So for me, those are the most the questions that I most love to ask. It's not like something, but if I look like into the script of the interview, I think that one of the most important questions that I always have in mind, it's like the importance of the person's understanding the importance of the testing pyramid, for example, and explaining what the testing pyramid is. Because when you are working in big projects, it's very important for you to understand how addressing different type of testing at different levels might help you and your team in order first to do things right, and to test things that are important in different levels, and ensure that you are not like simply testing everything in a higher layer of the pyramid and forgetting all the rest. So, and that is really important in order to maintain the health from your project, from your pipelines, to guarantee that you are able to deliver fast, etc. So that is a kind of concept that for me it's really important, and I think that every tester basically should be aware of it.
Okay, great. Yeah, and I agree with you. It is really important to understand like how people envision the whole testing purpose, right?
Yeah,
that's true. I think we don't have sorry.
No, I'm just saying, because imagine you might not even being doing like unit testing or etc. But it's important for you to understand, okay, there are things that I don't need to test at this level, because imagine that you mainly do like API testing, UI testing, etc. But you need to talk with your developers and say, okay, but I have these things should be covered on the unit test layer, and it's like probably it's your responsibility. It might be even you that go write the test there or etc. But it's important for the testers and the team to be aware of the importance of this concept.
Yeah, how it comes all together. Yeah, I agree. I think we don't have online live questions yet, but I have another one for you. So on the last interviews, we on the previous interviews, we were advised like a couple of books, and now I have all of them. I ordered even those that I didn't have, so now I have all of them. And now it's your turn, please, to share with us like the books that every tester, QA, QE should read.
I think that I mentioned that when I shared the link for when you invite me, and when I first shared the second meetup, that I also bought two of the books that João referred.
It's getting difficult. That's true.
I think that they will reach here like Monday, something like that. But yeah, they were really nice suggestions.
Yeah, I agree.
On my hand, I think that one of them, it's like a very old book, but I think that it talks about concepts that are still that still make sense today. That is the lessons learned in software testing. And it's a book that it's really easy to learn. It basically the thing is, it's a lot of different. It covers a lot of different areas on software testing, and it provides like a set of examples on things that happen and how they address that, like problem versus resolution. It's not all the examples are like that, but the book is really easy to read, and it was like one of the first books regarding testing that were more well known. And even if the book, some of the things we might read and say, okay, but this doesn't not make sense nowadays because things are not like this anymore. The book is like from 2001, something like that. But the things still make sense. Most of the things still make sense. That is from I forgot the name. This Kramer, lessons learned in software testing. From James Bach, Sen Kramer, and Brett Pettichard, exactly. I might share the link, but I think that probably you already know this one, no?
Yes, I've heard, but still, we will leave this all in the description to this video, so it would be easier to find afterwards for people.
Let me pick the link. Second one, it's not. I also must be true that I don't read that much books related with software testing itself. It's like, for example, the books that João suggests are the spectrum is much more broader than software testing itself. It's like engineering principles and etc. And I also prefer more those books rather than those only focus on software engineer. But the second one, that it was really interesting for me, and this was also a suggestion from a senior director at Feedzai called José Fernandes, that it's called Checklist Manifesto, and it's written by a surgeon, and it basically explains to you how checklists might enable you to handle with complex tasks. And since software is a complex word, testing software is also a complex word, I think that it's something that also makes sense, and it's a book that is also easy to read, and it's not focused on software itself, but it's something that still makes sense and enable us to think in a different way regarding a thing that is so simple, like a checklist, and how it could be so useful in order to make our lives easier. There is also another one. Let me try to search. Yeah, testing in DevOps. I think that the name is like that. A practical guide to testing in DevOps. Katrina Kluki, and it's really nice for me because it's like it's not it's like more about concepts and etc. It's not something very deep, and does also have a lot of images and etc. It's like a book that it's really easy for you to read because it has a lot of examples and etc. And it's a really nice book that I would also recommend. And this is more also related a little bit with testing because at least have the keyword in the title. But regarding testing, I would say those two. And this one, the Checklist Manifesto, is not like a testing book, but it was something that I think that it refers like a little bit with how we could ensure that even with complexity, we are able to deal with it.
The quality department, it isn't about, actual testing, or it's not only about actual testing. So it has a lot of things about the communication, about the plannings, about the priorities, about the risks, about a lot of things. So even if the book is not about actual, hands-on testing, it still can be very, very useful because this is a very broad area. It has a lot of things to do, different things, and that's why I love so much QA. I think there are books that they might not teach you how to, I don't know, automate your tests, but they will definitely help you about the mindset, about the team setting, about like the broader things that is also cool, and that should be a baseline to a QA department. So I agree with you. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I would like you to share the all the titles with me so we can add to the description.
I think that I already shared that with you, so you should be able to.
Okay, I have the lessons learned. Yeah. And we also here in the chat, we have we have Miguel Oliveira to asking us to share the name of the OWASP tool that you mentioned for the macro.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah.
OWASP. Okay. OWASP's up. Okay. I will put the link also on the chat. Okay. Is this one?
Okay, and I guess that we are run out of questions. Yeah, guys, don't worry. I will share everything in the description for this video. So this live stream will be available here in the channel soon, still today. Okay, so in case you have any doubt or you would like to revisit any link, feel free to pass by and check the description for this video. For people that would like to understand the references that we had for the first QualityTalks interviews, the first session that we were mentioning here, you can also find a video here in the channel. So yeah, I would appreciate if you would join this guild of enthusiasts and people that loves everything about the QA and testing, QE, etc. And also, yeah, feel free to join us as a speaker, or I don't know, I might interview. So yeah, just let me know. Just let me know if you're not afraid of questions. And Ricardo, thank you so much. I really will be looking forward to the mutation testing revamp again, because I love that, and I know that you can. Although that talk in the past was not yours, but I know that you can share as well, and I know that this now, I think that it's becoming a bigger hype about that, because I start seeing more and more articles on Medium about the topic. So yeah, I would request you to join us as a speaker then soon.
We could negotiate that.
Okay.
No, thank you.
I think I might convince you. Yeah, and thank you everybody who were with us today in a live stream. Sorry for a bumpy start. These are the things that sometimes happens on the live sessions. But yeah, I'm very happy to have you here. It was a huge pleasure. And yeah, see you soon. We don't miss the meetup about DevSecOps, and we will also have a session of QualityTalks interviews in January with a special guest. This time it will be a she, and she will be from abroad. So like a small spoiler. So stay tuned, please, and have a nice evening.
Bye guys, and
bye guys.
Bye.